trouble, ruin, ask Alma. Evil, do it, ask Alma. Time for viewing, ask Alma. Are you down, feeling low? Are trials weighing heavy on your mind? I know a place we can go. Sit back and unwind. Grab a seat, put up your feet, and we'll ask Alma. Ask her anything. She has a certain plan for being tough, but always fair. So if you need someone who cares, ask Alma. Problems big or small, she has the answers to them all. So drop your questions, have them solved by Alma. You can ask her anything. Trouble, ruin, ask Alma. Evil, do it, ask Alma. Time for viewing, ask Alma.
Hey, 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 hey. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Ask Alma. Come on in here, please, so I can say hello. Come on in, come on in. I want to see, of course. Hi, Sharon. How are you? Sherelle, Team Higgins. I'm glad y'all are coming back to the show. I know y'all got a date coming. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. How y'all doing? What a day, what a day. Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Maddie Lou. I was going to call you all day, Diva. I was going to call you all day. How you doing? How are you? I hope you are doing well. I hope Sherelle is doing well. I hope Sharon is doing well. I'd like to see Sean and Tracy log on. And I got to check with Bessie. I think she might be going to Bible study or something, which I am not discouraging anybody from going to Bible study. Do your thing. Yes, you can watch Ask Alma on YouTube and Twitter later and Facebook. So, yes. Hi. Hello, hello, hello. Boogaloo, boogaloo. Hello. Tracy girl, how are you? Tracy wrote and performed our theme song. Hello, hello, hello. I love it. Sharon just came in from her walk. You know what, girl? I was going to walk too, and I was, okay. So I was getting ready to walk, and then I poured a half a glass of wine. I forgot all about the walk. I just don't even know how that happened. I did finish the half a glass of wine, though. Hi, Gail. How are you? Thank you. Thank you. I hope you're doing well. So glad to see you tonight. So glad to see you. Sharon said, what the song? Yes, it is. Tracy wrote that song, wrote the lyrics, and sang that song. I just love it. Thank you. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. So, we are supposed to have 2 guests on the show tonight, but I think we have a little bit of a technical difficulty. So while we are working that out, I'm going to bring Dee Dee in here. Dee Dee, girl, come on in.
Hey! What's up?
Hello, hello.
I had to play a few songs to get me pumped up today. You know, I moved.
What songs were you playing?
I'm not sure I can give you the names of those songs right now. Hey, Tracy. I have a couple of songs that gets the blood flowing. So
I have some. I listen to. There is a woman that I listen to before the show a lot, and hi Tina, I'm glad to see you. She was the top selling woman for Mary Kay. So, like she's pumping up her. No,
like
she did. I just
motivational speech.
Yeah.
This is a club song. This is not. This is not trying to be motivated.
We were riding in the car the other night listening to Sirius. I call it Sirius. Sirius Radio, and they were doing.
I want to know if Siri and Sirius are related.
Hey, cousins. I'm sure,
Yeah.
like, me and my 119 cousins, it
See, I
might be
have
some
serious
there.
too, and I'm learning some lyrics to songs that I did not know, and
Or
some of
that you
them I'm
sang
just
wrong.
saying
Did you not?
wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just a little uncomfortable with some of them. Like I'm like, did I used to sing that as a child, or worse? Like,
Yeah, because I heard juicy fruit lately, and I
oh
was like, okay, she wasn't talking about candy.
yeah, yeah,
When I was,
yeah.
10,
I
singing
sang it
it.
loud and
I
wrong.
thought she was talking
Like,
about nail laters. Like I Bruno gets me moving. I like him.
yes.
And Sharon, I'm gonna look for this video. It's a little boy. He cannot even be 2 years old yet. Have you guys seen it? And he mouths Bruno's song
Oh really?
and like
No, I haven't.
dances. And his parents videotaped him because it's like he can't talk, but
But
he
he knows the
he is
music.
trying to sing the song. He dances, he's on beat and everything. It
Wow.
is so hilarious. It's one of those you go, he was here before. He really liked that song because
Yes.
there's no way that he would know. I know it
Well,
is
one of the
so
songs I
funny.
do recommend is by Mr. Cheeks. It's called Lights, Camera, Action. It was a club song back when we were going to the club. Yeah,
I went to the
you should
club.
know that. Huh?
I went to the club with Mr. Cheeks.
Uh, you were probably in there for a minute. You showed up to wave at everybody, and then it was like, okay, I'm out.
Mr. Cheeks.
I'll send it to you.
I never heard of him. So, like, is he a part of a group and we just
I
call him
don't
Mr.
know.
Cheeks?
Most songs I don't. I can't even most songs. I can't even name the person that sings it. I just happen to know he sings it because he says in the song, "I'm sorry, Miss Jackson." So it's often confused with Outcasts. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson, but they are not the
The
same.
Lost Boys was the group because we got a producer.
Well, I don't know who the Lost Boys are, but Mr. Cheeks is singing the song.
I think whatever the song is, I don't know it's Mr. Cheeks because clearly I was partying with you in the club. So if you was dancing on Mr. Cheeks, I
Yes.
was dancing on Mr. Cheeks too.
Okay.
And we went right. I just don't know. Like now
Do
and
you?
for
Sorry, I know this is way off topic, but do you remember the time that you looked across the club and saw a guy and said, "Man, he looks just like your man," and it was his brother, but you had never met him. You remember that?
no.
I was like,
But that
"Oh, look
sounds
at him,
just
he looks
like
just
me.
like your man," and I was like, "Because they were related."
Some things never change
Yes.
because I was in Chicago with Gil. One of his cousins came and I said, "Oh, it's nice to meet you, William. I want to introduce you to my cousin Jesse because you look just like him." And he said, "Okay." And everybody was in on it except me.
Oh, see,
He
they
and
should come
Jesse
through.
were brothers. And when Jesse came, I was like, "Jesse, I want you to meet William. He reminds me so much of you." And Karen, his wife, said, "Stop doing that to her. They are brothers." I was like, "Oh,
That's
really? I didn't
awful.
know." Well, I laughed at it. Well, like, whatever. But I don't, but that sounds exactly like me.
It was 100 years ago. So
98.
okay,
No, no.
98.
Okay, now we're gonna get this show moving, y'all. But I want to ask D one more thing about the
Okay.
clips. Since we
Oh
talking about
Lord.
the clips, like we won't mention any names. We won't
I was
mention
gonna say
anyone.
I'm not sure I'm gonna answer, but go ahead.
Right. But do you remember when we were at a club and something had happened between me and a guy? And
Mm-hmm.
he came in and you went over to say hi. He asked you about me and you said, "That's her right there." He was like, "I don't see her." You were like, "Yeah,
Oh
you see
yes,
her.
I do remember that. He was like, "What you
Surrounded
doing
by the
here?"
men. That's her."
That crowd around the hey Mary Lou.
Yes,
He's like,
indeed. That
"She's
was
here.
fun.
She is here."
But
She's
I
the
did
one
leave
with
the
the
club at 12 o'clock. No,
yeah,
like that's
like a
the truth,
pump. You were
y'all.
like
Yeah, like at
Cinderella,
12 o'clock, I was
faithfully,
sleepy. I was sleepy and I would
faithfully.
leave. And too bad if you rode with me because I was ready to go. But most times you would
11:59. You
catch
were
a
in
ride
the
with somebody
parking
else.
lot, right?
But I went to the club at 8 o'clock. It wasn't my fault that nobody else was there at 8 o'clock. It started at 8. I was there at 8. So by 12 o'clock,
You
I
got
was
in free
tired.
then. You got in free
Exactly.
at eight
You
o'clock.
got to know
So
when to show
yeah,
up to
I know,
party.
right?
That's right. That's right.
And get free drinks before they all realize that they're spending
Before
money on somebody they're
exactly.
not getting anything for it.
Right. And because of the Slim Gin that I used to drink.
Slim Jim Fizz.
Y'all, I don't even know if I like that drink, but D taught me the name of it. So that was just the one
That's
that I
not.
ordered.
That is not what it's called.
That was funny.
That is not what
Okay,
it's
I
called.
think we have Didi. I think we have a panel guest.
Okay,
I
let's
think we
see.
do. Let's see. Do we have a panel guest? Producers? I don't know. And I don't know. Is it somebody waiting in the wings to come on? Let me check.
Oh, there's one. Hey,
Courtney,
Courtney.
how are you?
Oh, Robin.
Robin, where's Robin?
Can't see me?
We
Yes, we
No, we
cannot
can
do.
hear
see you.
you.
Goodness.
We
Are
can
you in
hear
witness
you.
protection now?
Yes,
Who you hiding from, Robin?
I can't tell you.
Right. We ain't telling no names.
Can't
Remember, we
tell you.
talked about that. No
Like what's
names.
wrong with my camera?
Oh, you know what, Robin? Though, what did Norman told me one time because I had the thing, I had slid the thing over in front of my camera.
I
He was like,
thing in front of my camera.
I was like, push the button. Oh, look, there I am. I thought my camera was broken. So, Robin, we can hear you.
Can
So
Okay.
you
you
see
can.
us?
I can see you fine. I've been
Huh.
watching you.
Huh.
Sean,
Sean.
we've been talking about some stuff waiting for you to log on. I was getting ready to go. We're gonna have to start the show without Sean because there you go. How you doing? So good to see you. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So tonight we have our questions, our regular 3 questions. You guys remember we're doing the new thing, Reddit on Reddit. Let's start with the Reddit on Reddit, but let's hear the disclaimer first. There it is, Reddit on Reddit. Let's hear the disclaimer first, and then we'll do the Reddit on Reddit. Y'all want to do that? How we gonna do that?
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
All materials and information presented on this episode of Ask Alma are for general information and entertainment purposes only. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are those of the host and guests and do not represent the views or opinions of the National Newspaper Publishers Association.
Thank you, Lori. Lori is our voice actress, and we appreciate her and her expertise so much here on Ask Alma. We are so appreciative. She also reads our questions. Thank you, Lori Grant. Okay, so let's get started with Reddit on Reddit. Didi, you read it on Reddit? What'd you read on Reddit?
I read an interesting story, which it's usually the other way around. But a gentleman lost his wife, and he had spent years raising his daughter by himself. Met a woman, waited a number of years before he allowed her to move into their house because he had a good relationship, and he told her she doesn't need a mother. She's good. This is our relationship, not theirs. So everything was going well, and he went away for the weekend, and then girlfriend decided that she was going to be the mother. Instead, told her she couldn't go to the
Marge in
party.
charge.
Yeah, she had permission to go to a party, and she was trying to keep her from going to the party. It was just a number of things that happened in those 48 hours that he was gone.
Mm.
And he came back, and he was not happy, and it created a lot of commotion in the
Because
house.
the daughter had told him about what happened with the girlfriend.
Right.
And so
And he was upset with the girlfriend. He said, we had an understanding. I'd already given her permission to go to the party. I'd already allowed her to do, X, Y, and Z. This is how we function. And it created.
Maybe she was trying, like she was the adult in the house. She was trying to be adulting.
Okay.
I'm just saying. It sounds like she was trying to adult.
Well, if she wasn't adulting when he was there.
Because he is adult. He adults when he's there. And when he left, she was trying to adult.
Okay.
Although he told her not to. I don't understand that because
I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
I guess it's just me. My daughter's 15, so I'm kind of like, if I had a man living with me, which probably would not happen, while she's here,
Right.
but whatever the case
Right.
may be, and I go away, then how do I feel okay telling that person, well, you can't say anything to her? Because
Right.
it could be more to it than that. You know
Yes.
what I mean? It
Right.
Yeah.
could be, oh, well, my dad's not here, so I'm gonna just say whatever I want to say to you, because it sounds like he hasn't established, okay, my daughter doesn't need you to raise her, but
But
at the
there's still
same,
expectations.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
still expectations, and you know, that's something that he needed to establish with both of them. You can't say, well, you're not here for 48 hours, but I can't say anything to
To
your
your
daughter.
kid. Right. Right.
That's
Yeah.
not how. I'm certainly. You're getting a story third person, so I didn't get that impression, but
Uh,
that that she wasn't allowed to speak to her at all. I mean, not discipline at all. I think that what it sounded like was that she was um,
Overstepping.
overstepping.
Like
like,
now that he's gone, she's gonna, maybe she never agreed with her going to the party in the first place. So now that he's gone, she's kind of like, well,
Right.
your dad's not here, I'm here now, you're not going, type of
Right.
thing.
That kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay.
More so
yeah.
of that.
I wonder if they broke up though. Do you break up over something like that?
Mm.
Because
The kids aren't gonna be there that long. Like she's gonna be
right,
gone in a
work
year
it
or
out
two,
because
so
she's
you
gonna have
can
her
work it
own
out.
boyfriend.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that
I
is
would say.
something. I read this thing on Reddit. I will mention it to you guys real fast. Sherelle said, so Boogaloo said, but she can't change permissions.
Permission's already
Right,
given, right?
absolutely. And Sherelle said a live-in can't overrule the biological parent, which is true. But I'm wondering, like, because I remember my parents um, separated when I was 25, and then when my dad was dating my stepmother, I can remember being over for dinner, and he, said something like, "Yes, it is important that you get along with Alma. Can't get along with Alma, it's not going to work out." Like, and I remember feeling an enormous amount of pressure. Number one, and thinking, why would you say that
Why
out
live along with
loud
me? Yeah.
to somebody that you are potentially going to be in a relationship with? And I mean, I got it. He probably was trying to do a quasi joke about it or whatever, but I didn't particularly like that. And as an adult woman, had I been a young person, I probably
Hmm.
would have thought, yes, like, But I think, when you have two adult people in a relationship and when kids are involved, it is really important. It is
Oh yeah.
very important to get along with the child. It is 100% important to get along with the child. But that kind of conversation about what I don't want you to do to my child should be private. Like I can remember when I married Gil and we would talk, I said up front, without Josh around, you can't ever beat him. Like you can talk to him and we
Right.
can sit him down and have a conversation, but I don't ever want you to hit him. And I think the only whooping Josh got was from me. I mean, I think Gil did once. I was like, remember, I told you, no, we ain't doing that. And then the second one was from me because I came home from the grocery store. He was out in front of the house peeing on the tree. What in the world?
Good. You cannot teach boys that they can do that and then not expect them. My girlfriend's son was going outside every chance he got because they let him pee in the parking lot one time. They were like, okay, well, let's hurry up because he had to go.
Right.
After that, he was holding it until he could.
Robin! Yay! Hey, girlfriend.
You guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And we see you.
We
I
can
had
see
to
your
go.
beautiful
What's
face.
wrong with my camera? So I have a work laptop, and I said, oh, let me go try my work laptop.
I'm so
Sorry,
glad.
guys.
It's so good to
Welcome.
see you.
I
So
know.
good.
Feels like
See you
forever.
guys.
I know. So good to see you. Everybody's looking all pretty. Ask Alma does have a beautiful panel tonight,
Hey,
y'all.
Shan.
Well, Robin, you have a son. Has your son ever peed outside?
I'm sure he has.
I
He's a grown
I
man.
think so.
I can't imagine one boy that if you
That
let
didn't
if you
pee.
give
Yeah.
that it's permission. Like you do
Well,
that quick
wait,
parking
I
lot.
didn't hear the question. Was that part of the question?
No,
I had just mentioned that I only gave Josh a whooping one time, and that was when I was coming home from the grocery store, came around the cul-de-sac, and he was, standing there peeing on a tree.
outside of his house.
Now, wait a
Outside of the
minute
house.
now. How old was
Right.
Like
He
100 feet
was
from the bathroom.
he was maybe 8.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
That's
and
still
you know what? I felt bad because I never got a whooping, which my husband says he suffers for that every day. But my parents were the punishment kind. Like I was on a punishment for a week, 2 weeks, one time for a month, and Carl did not waver. Like you could be sprinkling fairy dust around the house, and
You're
your
like,
week was
did
your
you move
week.
over and do that on the other side of
And
the
if
house?
you ask me to change it one more time, I'm gonna add 2 days to it. It was okay. But now that I think about it, I don't know if I like popped him because he had pulled his pants down. He out in front of the house, butt naked. I don't know.
that's still the age when they're
Yes.
experimenting.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if I popped him twice because I was embarrassed that he was in the middle of the yard peeing
Yes.
with
On the
everybody
cul-de-sac.
on the cul-de-sac,
Yeah.
or I don't even know. It was more of a
Shock, probably. If it was nothing else.
reaction.
No, that was an embarrassment. You gonna embarrass me
Yeah.
in front of these
You're
people?
gonna embarrass me in front of these people, right? But yeah, and I tell parents about that all the time now. Be careful that you're not sort of giving a punishment based on your embarrassment. Stick with like what happened. Sharon says she remembers those punishments. Okay, so ladies, did we get Lori read the disclaimer? We did Reddit on Reddit, and now we're ready for some questions. So
we can see Robin.
We can see Robin.
Courtney
we can
with her
see
beautiful
Courtney.
new hairstyle.
Yes.
Well,
So
you
I
can barely see it now.
Yes, she has Bantu knots tonight, and they look really cute too, Rob.
Very nice.
You can kind of see them. Yeah, they look cute. So, all right, ladies, thank you all. Thank you. And let's get started.
Hello, Alma and panelists, and hello to your audience. I'm Lori Grant, tonight's voiceover recording artist. I have the pleasure of reading our questions for the evening. So, here we go. Dear Alma, I'm going through an extremely difficult time with my son, his girlfriend, and her mom. They all live in my house with their 2 children. The problem is that they live with me at my expense. The 2 ladies refuse to get jobs, and they stay on the 3rd floor of my house all day, running the air conditioning nonstop. My son works, but he has to pay for the car, insurance, and cell phones, plus spending money for his girlfriend and her mom. He doesn't give me a red cent. The girlfriend doesn't clean or help out at all, and her mom caters to her all day, cooking and taking food up to her. I gotta evict them. But they threaten to take my grandchildren away, which would devastate my son, knowing that they would be homeless. We are both caught between a wall and a hard rock. I gave them a time frame for leaving, but my son keeps looking for excuses to keep them here. My choices seem to be to wind up living alone and scared, or live in this inferno. Please help.
I think Tracy said it.
Yeah.
Put them asses out. Although, like, that's easy to say. That's easy to say when her grandchildren are attached to them.
She is not there. All they're going to need is one night where they want to go do something. Those grandkids will be back. They're not going to keep those grandkids from her.
And also,
well, first of all, why doesn't the son stay with his mother?
And do what? And put the girlfriend and her
put
mom
the
out?
Girl and her mama out, and the kids can at least
stay with the dad.
stay with the dad half the time, or until mama and daughter get on their
She
feet.
could keep the grandkids and put all of the adults out.
No, no,
I,
no.
I,
The
I,
parent gonna have to be there.
Robin was like, no.
I can't. I could allude to why I don't think the son is siding with his mom, but because the show is a family show,
Why?
I
Why
won't
do you
say
think
those
this?
words.
Why do you think the son isn't siding with his mom? Because he's just
Because he don't sleep with her.
Exactly. That's
oh.
the nice way to put that. And sometimes you gotta call people's bluff, because people
Yeah.
who are like that, who freeload like that, they'll say and make all of these threats that they're not
Threats.
even. You don't even have a job. What parameters are you going to set for me to not see my grandkids? Come on now.
Right.
Well,
You
I
gotta
don't
call
care
bluff.
about them so much.
What, the grandkids or the?
No, I don't care about that threat of not being able to
Right.
see grandkids.
Yeah,
I just don't believe it.
exactly.
Is that all that she has? That's all they have? Like, if you
That's
put
the
us
only
out, we're gonna
threat they
take the
got.
grandkids? Okay.
So I got to live in eternal hell because
Right.
no, I'm gonna just have to call your bluff. And in certain states, grandparents have rights. I'm not sure if they live in one of those states, but if you're a grandparent and the parents are keeping you away, you could actually go to
Yeah.
court and try to get the
But
right to
that's
see
not going to
them.
happen. They won't even move out of her house.
They won't
So
even get a job, exactly. So they're not gonna go to court.
as soon as Frankie Beverly shows up at the park, they're going to need a babysitter. They're going to bring those kids over there.
Grandma's gonna have to use her spare money to get a lawyer and get them out of her house.
Right. Yeah.
Get
That's
them
too
They're
bad.
not paying. Well, the son
get
has no
them served
incentive.
and get them out of her house. Why does she feel like she'll be afraid? That's what I didn't understand. Well, I'll have
Afraid
to
and
be alone
alone.
and afraid.
Alone.
Afraid of what?
I don't know. She said I'll be my choices are I'll be alone and afraid. Or because is she saying though, like they are around her and they spend
Right.
time with her and they all do stuff with her, but like if she puts them all out, then she'll be by herself. I guess they won't visit and stuff. Maybe
She
that's
can
what she's
use
saying.
that air conditioner money to get a friend.
Or she could rent out that third floor. If they're all up on the third floor of her house,
Yeah.
just doing nothing.
Get a dog. She can get a
She'd be
dog.
embarrassed.
With some, I don't know how old she is, but she can get some,
Yeah.
caregiver help.
Yeah. I'm listening to all of y'all and I'm reading the comments, but I have to admit, I just would be so attached to my grandkids, I probably wouldn't even think straight. I would. Like I would really just be trying to peel this back to see what I could do. Because I would just be so tied into those grandkids.
Yeah, but okay, so she said that these adults live in her house, run up her air, eat her food, don't pay her anything. And her son, he works, but he works to give his girlfriend
and her mother
money.
And her mother.
Spend it.
Right.
Like,
He has already proven his disloyalty.
Yeah. If he was working to pay rent or working to pay something in the house, you could probably, look past maybe some of the other things. But no, they would all.
Because I figured she's paying her mortgage or whatever because she's got to do it anyway. They aren't contributing. She still got to pay it. And what's more expensive are the utilities, like people using lights and, keeping the air conditioner running and stuff like that. So they keep using the grandkids as pawns. Say that again, Robin.
Plus the stress of being disrespected in your own home. So that would make me sick. That would make me physically ill.
In your own space where you're supposed to have peace.
It sounds like the mom is a pushover and she passed the pushover gene over
to her son.
She didn't probably set proper boundaries with him. So he doesn't understand setting boundaries either. And now he can't even stand up for his own mother because his girlfriend and the mama.
Yeah, I like what Sherelle says.
Her mom and
her mother.
House. Yeah.
I like what Sherelle says. I probably would do stuff like that. Like I wouldn't put them out, but I would turn the air conditioner off and put a fan in my room. I would put a heater in my room. I would buy a mini fridge and a microwave and make because y'all know I'm not cooking. I pick up my stuff on the way home, but I would make accommodations that way so they weren't tied into everybody in the house. And because really, y'all know how I am about kids. Like I would just have to see my grandkids.
They don't have any problem freeloading off of her. They will not. They'll get a fan too. They're not.
Right, but at least we're not paying extra electric bill.
Yes, you are.
Yeah,
they get a fan.
Right,
or if they run their own AC, you could get an AC and put it
put it in the window.
Listen, I live in a warm climate. AC for one is considerably cheaper than AC in every room in the house.
That's right. And if none of those adults respect her, those kids aren't going to learn to respect her either. Right.
That's true.
That's just.
I would go to court and try to get my grandkids.
Tracy said, "No, I wouldn't live in my room in my own home." I'm with you, Tracy.
That's true.
Yeah, they gotta go.
So she really, in our opinion, has to go to court because clearly they are not going to leave on their own. And I do think Courtney is right. She really didn't have any boundaries set up with her son. That's why it's easy for him to take advantage of his mother and allow others to do the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. And I'm really sorry that they are using the grandkids as pawns.
I am too, but you know what? If I was grandma, I would let them know that I will be checking in on my grandchildren or finding out what's happening. Or I'd be calling Child Protective Services. And they may be ending up being with me anyhow. So get on the good foot.
Yeah, that's true. I like that too, Robin, because it's really a sad position to be in. Because it is very difficult to get people out or off your property once they are.
Well, it depends on the state.
Yeah, it depends on the state.
Some states you gotta go.
Yeah.
Some states call the police and have removed. Out.
Right.
Say that again.
In some states you can't put them out.
Right. In some states
you have to get a court order. You have to evict them.
Yeah.
You have to officially.
And a lot of times it takes 90 days after that.
Right.
So
well, she's already dealt with how many years? So 90 days is a short time to.
Yeah. That's pretty sad. So,
birds kick their babies out of the nest, they fly. So
I think she might be a little bit scared of them. I think she's scared of them. Yeah, I think so too. Because she said afraid and alone.
Right. She said afraid of what?
Choice. Right. I'll be afraid and alone. And you need some friends, girl. Some people who are going to help you with this.
Oh, Robin, she'll come over to help you.
Because that's a bit much for you to try to do it on your own.
I got to go to Home Depot and get my boys. They'd be out shopping and he'd be at work and that whole joint would be cleared out.
Empty. Right. Empty. That's right.
My key don't work no more.
That's too bad. So we advise you to
Sean agrees.
Go to court, see what you can do, but you have to set some limits and stick to them. Even if you give them 30 days, say, hey, y'all got 30 days and y'all got to go. I'm changing the locks on the door. Y'all got to go.
I think she needs to start with her son though.
Oh, yeah, that's what I think she was saying.
I think she needs to tell her son, you leaving and you taking them with you. Because if she tells them something, he already hasn't established that they need to respect his mom. So I feel like she needs to go to her son and say, you need to figure out a way for you, the mama, and the girlfriend to get out of my house.
Right. Because y'all got to go.
Yeah.
Who would even bring their girlfriend and her mama and their kids?
Girlfriend, maybe the mama too.
That's a lot. That's a whole.
Well, you know what? But if it was your grandkids, they'll say they were all living in the house and the house burned up. I can see where you for whatever reason.
Right. Yes.
You saying, okay, come
emergency
on in.
Situation.
I give you shelter. Let's get, till you guys get back on your feet. But we now in year 2, 3, and y'all at the casino, y'all at the mall, you burning my
at the casino.
You don't even offer me any food that you cooking for your daughter that you take up. No, you got to go.
Yeah. Or I wonder,
why that could happen.
Yeah. And then she says, come over here for a minute and get yourself together. Yeah. But that come over here for a minute has turned into something else. Sharon, what is SLDDFG? I don't know. I'm gonna try to sound that out.
Yeah, I was trying to make it work. I couldn't.
You can put it, you can Google. They'll tell you what it is.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay, ladies. Let's check out the next question.
Dear Alma, my husband and I have been married for 2 years. He's a great husband. He takes care of everything and keeps me very happy. Here's the catch. I just hate how he kisses. It is just too much spit, wild lips, and heavy breathing all over the place. I have tried on many occasions to discuss this with him, but it never seems like the right time. Not to mention, he is a very, very sensitive man. At our recent anniversary dinner, when we were having a very romantic moment, I said, "Slow down, baby. Let's practice a bit and make our kisses really, really great." Of course, all he heard was, "I don't like your kisses." Now, 3 weeks later, he's still upset. When I try to kiss him, he won't even kiss me back. I think this is so crazy, and I want both of us to enjoy kissing each other. Should I apologize and tell him everything is just fine? I don't want to hate his kisses for the rest of my life.
I was trying so hard not to bust out laughing.
John already bust out laughing.
I'm like waiting for like a real problem. How long have they been married? Did I miss that part?
2 years.
They're married?
Mm-hmm.
They're married, and she chooses their anniversary dinner to tell him this. That's not the right timing either, honey.
So, what does she do? Do you
I
have?
thought it was a boyfriend. I was gonna say just leave, because if you can't tell him he got a wet mouth, but this is her husband.
No, we can't
Courtney
get
say
to
I'm out.
with that.
Well, it's her husband, so it's different. I don't know.
How did you end up getting to the altar?
No, just imagine on that wedding day, he probably was kissing
that part.
She said that everything else about him is amazing.
Yeah, but
how did you find that
out? This is important to her. Obviously, this is important to her. So everything else is not okay.
Right.
Because
Boogaloo says she waited. You waited 2 years to tell him this when you should have told him all along.
Date.
Right. On the anniversary, when you should have had this conversation moment. Early on. Right.
Early on.
I remember dating a guy that was slobbered. Oh my gosh.
That was a no.
Yeah, I cut like Courtney said, not cut it off quick.
I dated someone like that. I didn't cut it off. I just told him the truth. You got a wet mouth. Wait a minute. Go like
swallow. And I think he used to pile the spit up or something, because nobody really should have had that much spit in their mouth when they were kissing.
He's getting ill. He is getting
ill. For some people, kissing is a big deal. I mean, for some people, kissing is not a thing. So those are the people you marry, the people that you don't care whether they kiss you or not. You don't marry someone if you like kissing. You don't wait until, like you said, 2 years after I'm sure they dated for some period of time. We could conceivably be talking about 4 or 5 years in. And then she says
that was an arranged marriage.
But she wants to know why he's mad. I mean, she's like, should I apologize? Like, I don't know what you can say at this point.
And Tina, you know who this guy is. I'll text you and tell you who it is.
I guess
I won't tell you his name on this show.
Like, I don't know, you married to the man, you might just have to cut your losses. Look at it. He can have a dry mouth. He can have stink breath.
You should be able to, after you've been together forever and ever, it's the same old thing. You should be able to talk to your mate and say, we used to do it this way, but this isn't really working. Can we figure out a way to change it? She should be able to say that to him.
Yeah, but everybody get their feelings hurt. I mean, that sounds good, and I read about it in Essence magazine. But like when you talk in real life and you step to a man and tell him that he is not doing something right romantically, you really have to
Be delicate.
Okay. She needs some mechanics. She needs some mechanics now.
Yes.
You got to get him in the bed and get on top of him and pin him down.
Right.
And control the moment.
Right, and say swallow because something is getting ready to happen.
Baby, let's kiss like this. Like she tried that and he got mad, probably because you waited until you was married to the man and then you gonna wait 2 years. He probably was like, well, how long did I have the wet mouth? You just now telling me.
You just now telling me you don't like the way
on our anniversary night.
Right. So all the times you pretended to like him kissing you, but you was like ran in the other room and went like this. He probably like, really?
I think she's got to try to control. She's got to try to control it. The situation.
But I don't think it's the kissing. I think it's the what he considers pretending. I think it's not the kiss itself. It's just that you waited all this time.
Sure
like I'm thinking I'm doing, I think I'm doing work, and then you all of a sudden go, well, you know what? Not really.
You think he thought he was doing work? Like
I mean, if you're intimate with somebody long enough, you think something must be right because they keep coming back, right? So he's thinking all is well in that department, and now she's well, what else is wrong with me? What?
Boogaloo says she can still teach him though.
She can.
I really believe that.
Oh yeah.
But he got to be receptive too.
Yes.
He won't even talk to her.
Like he'll be mad for a little bit.
He'll be mad for a little while.
I was gonna say, he's gonna talk to her eventually.
Yeah, she at this point, you need to pull out your best moves.
You know what?
Or he could be so embarrassed. I think so, Tracy. Yes, absolutely. I think that's what it is. So that's why she don't even look. He ain't got to do nothing. Over the next 2 weeks or so, girl, you got to work it out. Work it out. You gotta go in the trick bag.
You gotta apologize.
Or you should really point out the things that he does well.
After the trick bag.
I'm not crazy about the kissing, but once we get past that.
But after the trick bag.
I'm in it to win it.
Right, but after the trick bag.
Right, put that outfit on he likes. Yes.
Right. Yeah, girl.
Him, yes, D, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you're gonna have to apologize for not being straight up and communicative.
Yeah. In the communication
so they were standing at the altar. She was just hoping that it wouldn't last too long.
Tina said juicy fruit earlier. Robin, we were talking about how when you hear songs now as an adult, when you heard them as a child, and I said that I heard Juicy Fruit on Sirius Radio lately and realized she wasn't talking about nail laters. Like I thought she was when I was a little girl.
Alma, that song was not out when you were a little girl.
Well, I didn't know I still thought I was a little late. I was a little late,
When she heard it, she knew. She thought they were singing about something.
Because wasn't that the candy called Juicy Fruit? Yeah,
no,
it was chewing gum.
It's still out.
Yeah,
right. It's supposed to be singing about gum. Right? No. Okay, I got to tell y'all this. Should I say this on the show? Yes, because it was so funny.
Wait, hold up. Stop.
I'm going to tell it. I know Gil going to be so mad.
Okay, stop.
Oh, no. No, I'm not doing that. No.
Next question.
Move on.
Come on, reader.
Whatever we was going to do next. That's not
Courtney, because it's on the way out.
Not going to talk about my best friend on here. No.
Come on, reader.
Okay, y'all. I'm sucking it back in. But watch next week. Watch next week, y'all. Watch next week because I might have to tell it. Okay, y'all ain't no fun. Let's go to the next question. If things get slow, I'm gonna bring it back up again. So, don't make Gil mad.
We like Gil.
All righty. Time for the next question.
Dear Alma, I was in a very short relationship and got pregnant. We decided to keep the baby and both welcomed our beautiful baby boy. We both raised him together and things were going really well. I met and married when he was 9 years old, and his father has moved on with his life and is married too. Fast forward, I'm divorced and my son is 11 years old. He has asked to go live with his father. I'm crushed. He said it isn't because I'm not a great mother. It's just that he wants to be with his dad. I decided I wanted what was best for my son, so he is now living with his dad and stepmom. Here's where the drama begins. My mother, sister, and other family members have just about disowned me and constantly tell me that I've made the biggest mistake I could ever make in my life. They say I've given him away, and what kind of mother does that? How can I get them to understand that I put my son first? I need my family now more than ever. How can I handle my family at this time?
Family.
Put him out.
What? A great decision, because this boy is a preteen, which is usually like the perfect time for him
to go live with his
dad.
Right. And like Tracy said, you don't owe them an explanation. And I get that. And I understand that answer. But I also think when you make decisions and you are looking for the support of your family and it's not there, then that becomes your issue. Like, you've made peace with your decision, but when family members disagree with you, it puts everything in a whole nother place. And so how do you deal with that?
Well, on a personal level, that my son lives with his dad. You know what I'm saying? And I have family members that will say things like that, like, "Oh, you gave him up." And I'm like, how could I didn't leave him on somebody's doorstep or something like that. Like, he lives with his dad.
Exactly.
And everybody didn't agree with it. But at the end of the day, do I think that my son is better for being with his dad? Yes. I think that there's certain things that I'm not going to be able to teach him.
Right.
If it's something that me and the dad and the stepmom have come to an understanding about, it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. Like, you just, it's hurtful because you want the approval of your family, but there's so many things that family will have an issue when it comes to kids that you're gonna have to just be like, oh well, if you guys don't agree, just don't agree.
Well, my son lived with his father for a chunk of years, these preteen years. I think we had the advantage of my ex-husband being friendly with my family. So my mother didn't miss a visit. There wasn't any events that he wouldn't make sure that he was there. But when we made that decision when he was small, when we got divorced, we didn't consider anybody else. It wasn't about them. And everybody still got their time, but he would have blew a casket if one of his family members, told him.
The other thing too, the other thing that I thought about with this is, I am shocked at how people think about dads. Like, sometimes they'll say like, oh, my husband was babysitting, or it's like,
how could your
husband, the comparison of moms and dads are the same. It's the same thing. You can't think that a mother is the only one who can fully love that child 100%. They could get the same thing from their dad. So that's one thing.
And allowing the father to be the parent. Like, you can't. Like, I remember someone saying to me, oh, he did X and his father did X. And I'm like, when he's at his house, I have to trust that he has my son's best interest. He loves him as much as I do. He is going to take care of him the same way I would take care of him. So I didn't want to know what was going on over there. Whatever his decisions were, they were his decisions. And when he was at my house, then we ran things the way I wanted to run them. But I think some people want to dictate how that child is treated in other environments. And I was like, that is not my job. He wouldn't be here if it wasn't for his father.
Right.
I couldn't do this by myself, No. You just can't. So you have
And my dad did a lot of raising me. And that was a choice between him and my mother. it was always my dad. Like, I didn't even know people didn't go to their dad and talk about things. Like, we laugh. I talk to you about stuff and have said 100 stories. Even, in high school, in the bathroom, girls talking about stuff. And my mom took me and I go, oh, my dad took me. It's like, your dad took you there? I'm like, yeah, didn't your daddy take you? It's like, no. But that was who was my primary parent. So I didn't know anything any different, right? Anything else. And it's like, do I think my dad did a lesser job? No. Like, I actually appreciate being raised primarily by a male.
And
because
having the benefit of both of them.
Exactly. Right. And I had the benefit of both father, of them. Yes. Right. Yes. But it's like in our house, it was old school because it was Reverend Martin. So you followed, well, no, I shouldn't say that because Carol, yeah. Okay, I'm going to suck that back. She would not be disrespectful with the minister. I'll put it that way, maybe. But they were still two parents that you were going to respect. Period. Right, no ifs, ands, or buts, and they stuck together in that. I could not say anything about my mother to my dad. I could not say anything bad about my dad to my mom. It just wasn't going to happen. And I do think in that case, you have to be, partners in it. But I guess with this woman, what I think is hurtful is when that people probably, and sometimes they don't, but if somebody is whispering behind your back, that's one thing. But to think that your own family members aren't sort of protecting your choice can be really, really hurtful. It can be not just in this, in anything. Right. In anything that you have to make a decision about in life. Like, I remember when my mom had a stroke and the hospital said, we have to put her in hospice. And some family members of mine were like, oh no, you can't send her there. That's where they send you and you just die. Well, that's where they send you when you're on your way to death. Right. It's not like you just go there. But I think different people don't understand the whole picture of a lot of things sometimes. Right. And so that's why they're throwing daggers at you.
And it's easy to be, on the sideline making these judgment calls about how you should behave.
Yes.
I find it kind of surprising that a family member would be that bold as to say this is the worst thing you could have done. You're throwing your child away. That takes a whole lot of guts, to me. But maybe
a whole lot of, I don't know if it's guts or a whole lot of shit. Well, because it's some family members that offer you shit. Yeah. Like, that's what that is. It doesn't take anything to hurt somebody's dynamic.
It's clear that she really values their opinion, or she wouldn't be asking us, how do I talk to them? So, what we would, the fact that I would say, mind your business, you're not paying any bills over here. Right. And when's the last time you came over and took Billy out to the baseball game or whatever? Or I trust my ex because we agreed on things all along, and this is not about you. Maybe I'm a lot more harsh and direct than this woman is, and not in need of people's validation,
personalities.
But clearly she is. So how can we help her? Can she like schedule a conversation where she schedules the conversation that puts her on top and in control of the agenda, where she says, what is your problem? Well, tell me exactly.
But if they give her a list of things, how does she walk away feeling good about herself? She's okay.
Well, if you give them a list, and maybe she can take off the list, maybe she can't. But at the end of it, we gonna have to agree to disagree.
Well, see, the thing too that I was thinking is, like she said that she needs their support, and maybe when she says support, I'm thinking maybe she has had their support, not just emotionally, but maybe when she had her son, they were really helping her. Like maybe they
Mhm.
helped
Okay.
her babysit, help her pick up, the kids and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And sometimes when family does stuff like that for you, they feel like they have a right
A
That's
say
true.
in what
to
Right.
you're
tell
doing.
Yeah.
you what
Right.
you
Right.
should and shouldn't do. And then
Right.
because you're accepting that support from them, you feel like, well, I should they have the right to weigh in on my life decisions. Without the
Right.
truth of the matter, support is support. Just
Right.
because you may pick up the kids or do this or babysit or whatever while I work, whatever the case may be, doesn't mean you could also
You
then
get
tell
to
me what
right.
to do with my life.
Exactly.
And some
So
Yeah.
of it may be just she may be alone. When you have a child,
Right. That's what I was thinking
it may
too.
be
She's by
just that
herself.
she's used to having this companion, although they're children, and
Mhm.
now it's just her.
Yeah.
So she's not
Yeah.
married anymore, so she doesn't know how to. She may be looking towards her family to give her some kind of that kind of support, like
Yeah.
socially. And they're like, well, you should have never gave him away, so we're not dealing with
And
you.
if you're the youngest, I wondered if
Right,
she was the youngest in the
right.
family because the whole family wants to tell the youngest person how to do everything. Like you can't even think for yourself. Sean said the best thing to do when your child wants to live with the other parent is empathize. I think she's doing the right thing. I know, I
Absolutely.
totally agree. I
We
think
all
she's doing
do.
the right thing. Yeah, we do.
We
But
agree
we
with that,
we
right?
aren't
We're just trying to
happy
help her
with her
get with
family.
her family. Maybe
Yeah.
it's
she
Yeah.
gonna
just maybe she just listens to them in a more calm manner where they're not, using loaded words like you threw him away. It's the worst
Mhm.
thing you could have ever done.
Right.
All of those
Mhm.
are ratcheting up
They really
the
are.
reality way out of proportion. What
Yeah.
But Robin,
exactly?
if that's the initial approach, can she really expect anything less?
Right, exactly.
I mean, if
Yeah.
I
I,
said to you initially, have you thought about this? And then the next time said, something a little more direct, and then the next time said, I think you're doing the worst thing you could ever do. It's different than if you
I don't
start
think
with
anybody who would say those last words would have. I don't think they approach life like that. I don't think they ask like, Is there any way around it? Is there anything you
no,
can do?"
but I'm
No, they
saying
don't
what
want
I'm,
that. You're
my
supposed to say that
point
kind of
was
stuff
that if you
right off
if
the
you
bat.
start out blasting the shotgun, you're not going back to, oh, let's have a conversation about this. If
Yeah.
they start
Well, it's
out
worth
being
a try. She can
ugly,
try. She can always try and say, "Hey, I came to you and tried to have a reasonable conversation because I love you and you've been so supportive and I want to continue being supportive. And if you really, really, really care about Billy and you're concerned, what are your real concerns? Because
right,
I'm not. I'm confident in my decision. Did you see something? Did you hear something that's really a concern? Because we can look into that.
right,
I think from being somewhat in that situation, not maybe to that extent, but like I said, having family members really say you gave up your son, um, there was no point in having a conversation like that.
Right. Yeah,
It
I
was
don't think so
time.
with them.
Time went by. So as time went by, and my son is doing this, or he's involved in
Huh?
that, or he's getting good grades, then once people see stuff like that, especially if the parent is a good parent and they're going to be there,
right,
Right.
then people say, well, you know what? That probably was the best thing. Maybe that did help him.
Mhm.
But you're not gonna convince somebody who
Convince
off
them.
off the rip is saying, and you shouldn't have to. I'm not about to sit here and have a
right,
meeting with you about
right,
why
Yeah.
you think.
Yeah.
I don't care why you think. This is what
Yeah.
I'm doing. And
Yeah.
then after time goes by, they'll walk back what they said, or they'll probably never
hmm
admit that they said you should have never
Mhm.
did that.
Yeah.
But they'll come to an understanding that, oh, okay, it wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
that's
got
how
a
I like
family
for it to play out.
member. I've got a family member who had 4 boys, and when their relationship ended, she left them with their father. Period. No ifs, ands, buts about it. She never did think anything differently
right.
than that. And I often thought that had to be difficult for her. Like I think
Oh,
any
of
mother
course,
who
right.
makes that decision, it's not an easy decision to make. And so, the
Well,
two
I
Cynthia,
sat in the driveway and cried for an hour because
I
I thought
remember.
we had agreed that he would move with him when he was 13, and he called me and said, "Okay, it's time." And I just sat in I was like, "Oh, it can't
Mhm.
be time yet,"
Right?
It's like,
It
I'm
was
not
very hard.
ready, and
Yeah.
I really had to check myself, because it really was important for it to happen. I mean, it breaks your heart. I mean, and he turned out to be, I think a pretty decent, man now, and I think because of that. But it's not easy in making those decisions. But especially when you're talking about boys and fathers.
Yeah,
I think it is so absolutely necessary for that to happen.
Yeah, I do too. I think
made
it's important.
everybody involved stronger, better.
Yes.
Because the father got a chance to be the nurturer, and his son got a chance to see his parents were agreeable and still concerned and able to be functioning adults. And he still had both parents.
Yes.
Exactly.
Both parents. It's not like you never saw
just
him
because
again.
we're not together doesn't mean we don't come together for you.
Exactly.
And that is essential for children.
But I also think too, just one last thing, people need to stop this bias. It's a bias with
it. Is a bias. It's a bias.
If two people don't stay together, they should be with the mother. Like, there's a lot of kids who suffer because the mother is not the best choice.
Right.
Like,
that's right.
Sometimes there are toxic mothers, and just because they're there in the household or feeding the kids, they're emotionally abusing the kids, sometimes physically abusing the kids. So it's like that bias or thought of, oh, well, all kids should go with the mother, and if they don't, then no, like that.
And Courtney, you have hit on something that I have been, and I'm going to say this quickly, but I received an email from a woman, and she asked the Ask Alma question, and I've been reluctant to address it, because in it she says that her mother is basically like the pillar of the community, and people are constantly telling her how fantastic her mother is and thanking her mother for this, that, and the other. And she said her mother beats the crap out of her. And it's like, oh my goodness, because you don't think, like, I'm not saying you only think dads beat the crap out of their kids, but it is shocking sometimes to hear some things that a mother does. I think it's almost like can be family secrets or secrets about the mom that nobody really ever talks about, because every mother is supposed to be, baking cookies and stuff like that. But that's not the case. It is absolutely not the case. And we should stop being biased about that.
Absolutely.
Because it just isn't true. But I don't know. Like I think I'd like for her to answer a couple more questions before we just drop that question out, because I think it's some more to it.
Well, for the lady that sent this question in, though, I would just say, for me, as someone who's been somewhat through that, maybe not to that extent, give it time. Don't try to convince anybody of anything yet. Just
you don't have to convert them.
Out.
You made a decision that needed to be made, and you didn't need to consult anyone except the other parent.
Exactly. And have you guys seen that TikTok thing? It's the little girl patting herself on the back. Like,
I seen the one that kissed her own boo boo.
I saw the one where the little girl kissed her own self.
And this woman, you know what? You did what was right, and you have to kiss your own self and pat your own self on the back, and not even worry about the comments of other people, because they are hurtful comments, and that's all that they are. That does not make them true. It just makes them hurtful.
We give you 2 thumbs up.
We absolutely do. Absolutely do. Hey, you guys, thank you so much. Oh, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
And my purple nails.
Oh, see.
Since we're talking about it.
We were talking about it.
Oh, sorry.
I love you. I love you.
Thank y'all for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Courtney, thank you for being here with us. We appreciate it. Robin, so good to see you, girl. Didi, I want to do a shout out to Didi. I'm not trying to tell Dee Dee's business, but she just did something major, and her butt is sitting in the seat tonight. Thank you, Dee Dee. I appreciate you. You know I do, girl.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad everybody joined us. Thank you. Come back and see us next. No, I won't be here next week. So it's the last Tuesday of the month.
Already? Wow.
So that is Leah sitting in and hosting, which is great because I will actually be picking up my granddaughter. Yay. So Ava, Grandma, can't wait to see you. And again,
we can't have Ava on the show because this is adult content.
She is ready.
She and Gil would be
ready. Because Gil asked her the other day, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because, you know, she just turned 10. Big deal, double digits. Tweening. She was like, Grandpa, I have 8 years to figure that out. Like, why are you asking me now? She has an answer for everything. I got 8 years. Why are we having this conversation right now? So,
you know, you can have an Ava and Gil segment.
Oh, God, no.
Well, Gil is my husband, for those of you who don't know. And actually, people ask me all the time, how come we have never seen Gil on a panel? Gil and my son, Josh, I might add, have said, we're not going to be on your show. Wow. That's okay. That's okay when no, they said no, we're not going to do it. That's all right, because I got a feeling. When Ellen calls me and it's time for us to replace her time slot, and then we do this thing.
Ellen's been off for 20 picking Ellen. We got to pick somebody.
She still got money. Like who?
Yeah, she got money.
We are not allowing them in the theater or back in the green room or anything. They are not invited.
Food.
No. Security will have their face in the circle and the red line across it. You are not allowed. Not allowed.
Don't worry about it, Josh and Gil. I'll let you in the backstage, boy.
We'll let you backstage.
Y'all have a good night. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Courtney.